So welcome to the Friday session of our resiliency gatherings here at the Lighthouse Loft. I'm so happy to have this time with you. So this week we have been spotlighting upon be present practices, which are really important this time of year, every year, but this year, given all of the waves that are being made culturally, in public health, politically, and on and on and on, all of the waves that are being made, we need be present practices more than ever before so that we can get our sea legs on land and stay stable with all of the rocking and wave making that is going on, so that we can be really sturdy in our anatomy and show up from a place of clarity, because, you know, we're not wobbly. So again, we've been focusing on be present practices, and we've kind of taken a different angle on that every day this week. So the replays might be a really effective way of familiarizing yourself with these inroads that that we've been mapping out. So maybe you know of this amazing author that I've been a big fan of for actually, I'm going to change this song, for like 14 or 15 years. Her name's Elizabeth Gilbert. I became familiar with her work when I was pregnant, and I read this amazing book called Eat, Pray, Love. If you haven't read that book, highly recommend it. It's a joyful like autobiography of her experiences as a traveler in India, in Italy, and in Bali. Really great story. And I think that like storytelling is so important in this time, because we have so much data and so much fact-driven information that's coming to us all the time. That fact-driven information hits us in a certain way, but storytelling hits us in another way, and it gets underneath the underneath in a way that our human beingness really appreciates and can alchemize with and grow with. So I was listening into something that she posted on social media yesterday, Elizabeth Gilbert. I think it was yesterday, it was at some point this week. And she was saying that she'd been talking with, you know, various people that she values and friends that she has. And they've been, you know, leaning into this topic of like, how in the hell do you not go crazy during a pandemic? And she and her best friend felt like they had a little bit of quality experience with the journey of working from home and living alone, and doing it blissfully, and doing it productively, and doing it with some wonder. And so she and her friend both agreed that one of the ways that they stay present and don't go insane, you know, during the pandemic, but, you know, on the ordinary, when they're working from home all the time and living alone all the time, that they take great delight in doing small things nicely. Doing small things nicely. I love that. I love that. As a mindfulness-based practice, you know, in our practice community here, we're so interested in doing small things nicely, whether it's, you know, crafting a conscious conversation with someone that is going to be generative and organized and compassionate, or whether it's the building of a new building, or, you know, fill in the 1008 blanks of how we pay attention to doing small things nicely within our community here. This has, I think, a lot of relevance for us as practitioners this week, focused on being present. I'm just going to reiterate something that I've been speaking to all week before we get into the physical practices. Get your figure. do your numbers, get your figure of how much screen time you're clocking in every day, and then figure out what 1/10 of that is, and commit 1/10 of that time. Commit 1/10 of your screen time daily to doing something that is off screen and creative and life supportive and sovereign and transformational. Okay, so 1/10 of that time should be off screen. It could be something you remember from something that I've shared with you. It could be a walk in the woods. It could be a run with your dog. It could be making a kind of cake that you've never made, whatever. But it needs to be something that is helping you practice soul braiding. Soul braiding. So you are braiding yourself together with what it is that keeps you feeling on purpose, and that allows you to feel present, and that allows you to feel connected to your essence. So the last thing that I want to say in terms of setting the stage for our practice today, on this topic of doing small things nicely, as practitioners of the science of breath, the smallest unit of energy that we work with in integrative practices is prana. It's chi, it's prana, it's life force, it's the breath. And so when we do breath work, particularly when breath work is in tandem with sound work, which we're going to do here in a second, you are getting in there as a blueprint technician, and you're working with the smallest unit of energy that you have available to play with and to create with. You're working with your own prana, you're working with your own chi, and you're creating a fertile ground for whispering in change. Whispering in change. So where do you want change in your life? Is it some, crappy old habit that you're sick of looking at every time it shows up in your spectrum of behaviors? Is it, what is it? Think of it, and let it be part of the change that is coming to you and through you in today's sadhana. So sit up nice and straight and get really comfortable. Get really comfortable in your body, in the address of your body. So I'm just taking this moment to adjust the block underneath me. I'm going to take a minute to also change our music. Close your eyes and deepen your breath. Recognize that your breath is a song. It's a spell song, if you will, and it's weaving its magic through you. And when we practice being very conscious of the way that we're breathing and listening to this song, tremendously beautiful and good things can happen. So I want you to bring your hands into the protection mudra that we've been working with enduringly during this month of focusing upon immunity and focusing on presence. And hover this here over that place that's right between your solar plexus and your heart's center, and then activate and animate your fingers a little bit, and then you're going to create a figure 8 with the solar plexus. That's the point of activation in the gesture. Okay, so you're working with your breath, and then you're going to make a sound. And let the sound weave and braid through your whole being, through your nervous system and through all the tissues of your body, through the organs of the body, So you're revolving the life current continuously up and down your spine as you make a figure 8 in your solar plexus center. So this revolution of life energy up and down the spine has the capacity to accelerate your awareness and your evolution tremendously. See if you can sit up a little bit taller, which may shape shift the way that you're expressing and experiencing the figure 8. Sit up a little bit taller. Every time you finesse the calligraphy of the 8. This is an adaptogenic practice, and it's patiently and it's powerfully working on harmonizing all the systems of your body, and patiently and potently harmonizing both hemispheres of your brain. So any kind of adaptogenic practice is going to help us cope in times of stress and in times of change. Let this open up your heart, let it steel up your heart, and let it connect you to your heart. It's altogether too easy to not notice what's going on in the heart and to therefore dissociate from it. So stay in this for another moment's time, connecting to your natural knowingness and whispering for change. Whispering for change. And let this be the last one, and come into presence. Feel your verticality in your spine. Feel a levity and a lightness behind your eyes. Due to the pandemic and due to whatever other various causes might be at play in your life, we're working with a unique subset of accelerated anxieties, of dis-eases. So again, we're going to work with this small unit of breath, but this time in this practice even more specifically. So this was a nice integration practice, or an initiation practice rather. It initiated the flow of our meditations today. So this next practice is called breath of 10. A breath of 10 to assist us in becoming dis-ease free. Using your breath in this manner, which we're about ready to do here in a second, is so powerful. Okay, so we're going to take 5 strokes of breath in through the nose, and then 5 strokes of breath out through the mouth, creating a set of 10. Okay, so that 5 in, 5 out is one cycle, but we don't need to keep track of the many cycles. We're going to do this for a while, so I want us to start slowly, and then we can build speed if it feels appropriate or desired for where you find yourself in the meditation. So there's a few other moving parts. So you're going to inhale. Again, we're pulling it in through the nostrils. And every time you take a stroke in or a stroke out, so the hands are coming together, but we're never clapping them together. It's as if you're going to clap them, but you stop the hands when they're about 6 inches apart. So it's And so this pace that I just actually demonstrated, I feel is a bit too fast for the starting line. So we will slow it down, but notice how I was looking at the tip of the nose, and every time I inhale, I push the hands in, and every time I exhale, I push the hands in, okay? So this is the breath of 10 meditation for becoming dis-ease free. So I'm not saying this meditation, disclaimer here, if you have cancer, it's not going to necessarily cure your cancer, but the dis-eases, the small dis-eases that cause us to feel like we're not present, begin to exfoliate through the medicine of the practice. So again, to remind you, the point of focus for our flow today is to do small things nicely. So tend to the bellows in the chest that are moving as you breathe. Tend to the bellows and tend to every small nuance of the breath with incredible care and concern. So let's give this a try. Okay, again, refine the way that you're sitting up, and let this practice help you to be a kind of self-charging battery. Okay, so it's really energizing when it's done correctly, and particularly when it's done for a little while. So I'm going to just quiet down here and get out of the way, and we're going to do the thing. So place the hands and feel the energy, feel the prana, feel the chi in your hands, and then 5 strokes in through the nose and 5 strokes out through the mouth. One last detail, as you stroke the exhalations, those 5 exhalations, also simultaneously pull your abdominal wall back a little bit to help rinse out and wring out the organs in your belly. Okay, this is incredibly purifying and energizing and activating. So let's do this for a while. I'll cue you when to stop. If you get dizzy or lightheaded, stop and then pop back in as soon as you can. As soon as you can, okay? So. Also, keep it going. If it feels better to close your eyes entirely while doing this meditation, you are absolutely given permission to close your eyes, okay? So either way, either looking at the nose or eyes closed down, your choice, yogi's choice. Let this be the last cycle of 10, breath of 10, 5 in, 5 out, and then bring the practice to a close, coming into stillness, coming into your verticality at the completion of the 10th stroke. And then bring the hands together and rub them vigorously until they become undeniably warm and maybe even hot. And then place your hands on your face and press. Hands together, same thing. Inhale, working with the smallest unit of chi, which is your breath. Doing small things nicely, attending to the nuance, dexterity of the inhalation. Rub the hands until the arms are burning and the hands are smoldering. Start a fire of life force and presence in between the palms. And press your hands on your heart. Rub the hands. Bring your hands to the lower dantian, left hand to the skin of the belly or the pants, and then the right hand on top of the left hand, and press in with an exhalation and some sound. And then extend your arms out on the level of your shoulders and feel energy stirring in the hara, in the dantian, in the lower dantian. And feel that energy then rolling up and radiating out through the fingers. And similarly, experience the generative warmth of presence in your heart. Then feel the energy rolling out from the heart to the ends of the hands, your hands, full of life. And feel the generative presence and warmth in your head. And a deep and natural stillness and silence in your mind. A timeless quietude. A flow of wisdom on the in-breath, moving through the landscape of your head. And then feel that energy rolling out to the tips of your fingers. So head, heart, hands, and hara are all in a communicative constellation of clarity and dignity. Every time we practice, we flex our integrity. We become more of who we came here to be. You know, by committing to a regular practice, you are saying to yourself, I promise every day, I promise every day to become, bring your hands to your heart, back to the protection seal, I promise every day to become a little bit more of the truth of who I am. I promise. Thank you so much for being here. Take extraordinary good care. Sat Nam and Namaste.